The firestorm created by racially charged comments allegedly made by Clippers owner Donald Sterling entered its second day with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver having vowed to conduct a thorough and swift investigation, with President Barack Obama weighing in saying, quote, "When ignorant folks want to advertise their ignorance, you don't really have to do anything, you just let them talk. That's what happened here," unquote. Today, the NAACP announced that Sterling, who was supposed to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award at a banquet next month marking the 100th anniversary of the organization's LA chapter, will not be so honored. And amid all that, there was the team the 80-year-old Sterling has owned for 33 years, the Clippers, preparing for Game 4 at Golden State. That's where David Aldridge picks up the story.
Ernie, the Clippers players chose playing rather than boycotting Game 4 of their series with the Warriors. But that doesn't mean they didn't let their feelings be known symbolically about the racist comments attributed to the team owner, Donald Sterling. The players shed their warm-ups in unison as they took the floor before Game 4, and they all wore black socks as a sign of solidarity.
Our message is to play. Our message is that we're going to let no one or nothing stop us from what we want to do. And I think that's a good message. And if we can pull this off all the way, I think that would be a terrific message.
You make a statement by who you are, by players on the floor, by Steph Curry and Chris Paul getting after it and still communicating and still calling and texting, by handling yourself with dignity and class. That's how you respond.
Sacramento Mayor Kevin Johnson, who was serving as the union's representative during this controversy, met with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver before Game 4. Silver has said he expects the league's investigation into Sterling to be concluded within a few days, perhaps as soon as before Game 5 in Los Angeles on Tuesday, where the protests are likely to be much more than symbolic and involve many more people than just the Clippers players. That's the story from Oakland, Ernie. Back to you.
Thank you, D.A. Okay, a little over 24 hours now we've been talking about this thing. When you take it all in from the Clippers' reaction to Adam Silver's meeting with the media last night, to what the Clippers did as they took the floor today, playing and not boycotting it or refusing to take the floor, how do you feel about everything that's transpired to this point, Charles?
Well, I think Adam wants to look at the evidence. We got to make sure that's Mr. Sterling's voice on the tape. Then he has to act swiftly and hastily. I'm glad the players played. They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. And why should they sacrifice all of their hard work? Chris Paul's a great player. Blake's a great player. DeAndre's playing well. Why should they sacrifice their quest to win the championship? Their owner's an idiot. And I'm glad they played. Obviously, it's been a crazy 24 hours. And, David said something interesting. All these other people got to stay out of this. I think we got to let our NBA family, the players, the owners got to say something too, Ernie. The owners got to say, and it can't be Michael Jordan. I heard people say, well, the owners got to say something. Well, Michael Jordan's the owner. Michael Jordan is the owner, but we need some of these white owners who make a lot of their money off black players to say something too. They got to condemn those statements. That's the right thing to do. But I think the one thing that we got to handle this, because we can't have protest outside the NBA games. We can't have that, because that's a very volatile and dangerous. Put the cops who are great in an awkward situation. And, you got race baiters out there who want crazy stuff to happen.
How would you recommend fans voice what they are feeling right now?
Well, you can voice it on social media. You can say what you want to. But I can say, it's not fair. The protest at the players' game, that hurts the team. Doc Rivers and Chris Paul did not do anything wrong.
I agree with they didn't do anything wrong, but then there's also sometimes family issues are bigger than your game. Sometimes mankind issues are bigger than the game, and I think this is starting to fall bigger than the game. So in terms of protests, I think there are a lot of different ways. If you want to, I disagree on this point, Charles. I just think that if you want to protest in any manner you want, as long as it's peaceful and positive, I don't think that you have right not to do that. I think you can be outside of the arena protesting if you want to, as long as you're doing it in a peaceful manner. Because, like I said yesterday, to me, racism is a refuge for ignorance, and he showed his ignorance by doing that. And then, you know, the inclusion that I've always been fighting for. It also, when you're not including people, it shows that you can't see your own faults. Because a lot of time when you include other groups in, then you see your own faults that you bear, which he doesn't understand, obviously, if that's him on the tape. So for me, I think it is important because it's a bigger issue than the game that people and the players do some form of protesting and some form of alliance to know that they're uncomfortable and do not like what he did.
I appreciate your patience in waiting to voice your opinion on this one now.
We all make some very interesting points. First of all, you know, I'm glad the players played because the reality of the situation is the fans and the players, we own this game. The owners are just custodians. You know, this is our game. You know, I'm glad the guys are, you know, they're going out playing. You know, they did their little thing before the game. But, you know, we just have to go out, continue to play. We can't let ignorance bother us. He said what he said. We know what he's thinking now. We have his true colors. But I agree with Chuck. You know, we don't want to protest and, you know, put the cops in danger and, you know, have other things go on. You know, NBA needs to really take a hard look at it. You know, they need to make the decision on whether this guy still needs to be an owner. You know, this is a situation where an apology might not be okay.
Well, Mark Schlott, kind of similar with in the Cincinnati Reds, I believe it was.
Mark Schlott.
Mark Schlott. And then, you know.
Yeah, she was forced to give up the team, right?
Right, I believe so. And then one of the things
she was suspended from day-to-day operations of the team a couple of times, once for a year, once for 2 years.
And the biggest way to fight ignorance is through excellence. That's the biggest hammer. So showing your excellence in your field and showing your excellence in your inclusion as we welcomed in gay players into the NBA, welcomed in other minorities, welcomed in foreign basketball players. We have been the biggest inclusionary sport that I could think of in modern times. So we have it right, but they're all bad apples. And like President Obama said, all you got to do is let them talk. They'll figure it out.
Would it not help to I mean, I don't think this is going to happen, but what if Donald Sterling were to address the matter?
He has to. Well, first of all, he has to address the matter.
Yeah, I mean, now.
It doesn't help him.
Ernie, all he can do is say, I really screwed up. You know, a lot of celebrities screw up things. They're afraid to say, you know what, I just screwed up. I was 100% wrong. That's all he can say. You know, the thing that's tricky with this, and I think Adam is a unique situation, Silver. I think whether he sells the team or not, I think that's tricky. I don't know if you can just force somebody to sell their team. I don't even know. He has to make some symbolic suspension because I don't know what day-to-day operation Donald Sterling has with the Clippers, but from a symbolic standpoint, he has to do something.
Well, you think about this. The reason they suspended, remember Ron Artest ran into the stands? Mm-hmm. And the reason they suspended him for a year is because the biggest tickets holders, the people who feel safest, pay the most expensive seats. And if you feel unsafe in the most expensive seats around the league, then why would you do it? So now you have a culture of people uncomfortable coming into your arena now, around the world, not just with the Clippers, because they feel uncomfortable. So you have to suspend him more than Ron Artest, a guy who ran into the stands and hit his fan. So if you look at what that is symbolically, I just think that you're making the whole league uncomfortable and everyone who comes uncomfortable to the entire NBA, not just the Clippers.
And like I said yesterday, this is real racism to me. Like when you dress up like a dunce in a Klan thing or calling people the N-word, that just means you're ignorant. But when you have financial power and you got the ability to hire and fire people, that's racism. Those other people just idiots. When you call people names and stuff, I laugh when I hear that stuff. But when you're in a position of power where people have to come and get jobs from you, that's real racism.
And you're basing their salaries on what their skill set is and not their creed or their color.
We certainly hope that as we talk about how quick this investigation might go, that there might be some kind of a decision. Game 5 is Tuesday in Los Angeles. You would hope that there would be some resolution before then. It's possible there could be if the investigation by Adam Silver
the quicker the better.
Completed. Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Meantime, with that kind of a backdrop, you play Game 4. And here is the...
This is a great thing by the Clippers right here.
Yeah, it's showing they don't play for the Clippers. They play for themselves. You know,
and in fairness, let's be honest, most players don't care who the owner of a team is also, Ernie, to be honest with you. I mean, most players don't care who the owner is. I'm proud of these players. They got a great leader in Doc Rivers, and hey, they had to say they made a statement.